Hey guys, it's Marla. Welcome back. This is the weekly reading for the week of December 3rd, 2017. And I really can't believe that it's already December. I don't even know where 2017 has gone. So the overall energy for this week is positive movement forward. So this is a great card, and all the cards that we have this week are really good, so I'm excited to give this reading to you. What I'm picking up from this card is it's saying, congratulations, you've been doing a lot of hard work. You've been making the effort to change things in your life, to really see things differently, to develop new skills and new coping mechanisms, and you've done a great job. And these inner changes are soon going to propel you forward into brand new beginnings. Now, right now, we're still working on inner changes because it's not a good time for us to take action or to start new projects because Mercury is going retrograde today. And when Mercury is retrograde, we don't want to start new things. It's a time to reflect, to redo, renew, reconnect, revitalize, all the rewords. So, don't want to start new things. We want to avoid signing contracts as much as possible because there's a good chance we might have to renegotiate those contracts when Mercury goes direct. We don't want to purchase electronics. And I know it's Christmas, but I've learned from experience not to buy anything electronic during a Mercury retrograde because it could break or it could have problems. And you want to be really careful with your communication and with emails and your phones and all those good things. So Mercury retrograde is a time for inner work and inner reflection. And I hope that all of you will take time this December and use this Mercury retrograde to reflect on everything that has happened to you in 2017, all the changes that you've implemented, all the growth that you've done, and really think about what you want in 2018 and prepare for those changes that are coming. And the energy is bound to speed up when the new year happens as well. So now is the best time to get that rest and reflect. In the Northern Hemisphere, it's winter or soon to be winter. There's not a lot going on, so definitely take that time. But we're really, Spirit really wants you to know that these changes, even though they might seem very small to you, have really made a difference, and they're really allowing you to grow into something new. The card of what we're not seeing or what is hidden from us is transformation. Well, this has been coming up every week. We've known we've been in this huge process of transformation. And this positive movement forward card is telling us that what we've been doing is really working and things are really beginning to change. Because in order for us to change our outer world, we have to change the inner world first. What we think and what we believe is what creates our reality. And I forgot to mention that there's a full moon in Gemini today as well. And that full moon is all about what we think and believe and how we may limit ourselves through our mind and not following our gut instinct or our heart enough or not have enough faith because we don't see things necessarily happening immediately in 3D, or things that cannot be explained in some kind of logical and rational way. We're at a point in our time, in our development, that we need to start moving away from that. So you're in this process of transformation, and maybe you're not seeing the bigger picture as far as what's actually been happening within you, and it may feel suddenly like, oh my God, like, who am I? Because things have been happening and shifting so slowly, and for some of you it might take you off guard. But another thing with this card is many people have been going through hard times recently, especially even since the eclipse. And really the second half of this year, there's been a lot of challenge to release a lot of old things and let things go. Let go of situations, people, and it's been hard. And there's also been a lot of sadness, insecurity, anxiety that it comes along with a lot of these changes. And you may be wondering right now, why do I have to go through all this? Why do I have to let so much go? Or why is so much stuff leaving me in my life? The last few readings I did, I talked about people shifting in your life, people leaving so that new people can come in, for example. But it can be hard to let those old people go, those old friends and things that, drift away. So Spirit is saying that it's all because you're undergoing this transformation. And they've recognized that it hasn't always been easy for you. But the payoff is coming soon, and it's going to be worth it. Now, what is being shown as coming up in the future is the universe. And this is an amazing card to have for what is coming up, because this card is unlimited possibilities. It's basically saying that the whole universe is open to you right now, or soon will be when we come out of this retrograde or this down period. It's representing that you're ending one cycle and you're starting a new cycle. And that cycle has to do with this transformation that you've been undergoing. And your transformation is almost complete. Of course, you'll be moving on to a new phase, and that new phase will also involve a transformation. So don't get too comfortable. But this phase of transformation that you've been undergoing is coming to an end. And because you've worked so hard and you've made so many inner changes, those changes are soon going to be reflected back to you in your outer world in the way of having so many new opportunities, new developments, new people, things just aligning beautifully in your life. It's a really great card. And that's all I'm going to say about that. What you need to surrender this week. Of course, it's a full moon, and full moons are a time of surrender. But the guidance is surrender to joy. A key to positive change in your life is to let joy in and savor it. Indulge in random acts of smiling. During both the hard and easy times, keep surrendering to more joy. So, good reminder that it helps if we just can focus on the joy. And yeah, some days it's hard, but there's always something to be grateful for. Your family, your children especially, your home. You have food on the table. You obviously have a computer or a phone because you're watching me. So there are things in your life. Find those. Find time to do things that bring joy into our lives, especially at this time of the year where it's so much about shopping and buying presents and wrapping and getting the tree and baking the cookies and going to parties, and it just becomes overwhelming. And when we grow up, Christmas or whatever holiday you celebrate becomes more of a drudgery than the joyful time that it's meant to be, because we overwhelm ourselves with things. But we can say no to that. And it's by us starting to say no that we're going to actually change how we act at this time of the year. If we don't take part in the craziness, we as a group begin to add energy to that. And that's how we shift things. And that's how you've been shifting things in yourself. And as each of us shifts, it builds the energy for the whole world. You know, we're changing the planet one person at a time. And that's the honest truth of things. And the biggest thing that we can do to affect positive change in our life, whether it's on a small scale or a grand scale where we're trying to save the world, is to find time to have more joy, more positivity, more celebration, more time to nurture ourselves. Because this makes us happy. And when we're happy, we're able to deal with things in a whole new way. And that is such a big part of the change that we've been going through. Because as we let things go, and I'm thinking about specifically, like, we begin to learn not to let so much bother us, not to let the little things bother us. This kind of energy builds and builds and builds and creates great change in our life. And it begins to affect everyone around us. It's not always easy to bring joy into your life during the hard times, but that's the most important time to do it, because taking that time is what can shift you out of that negative energy or that bad mood or that anger. So that's the time when you really need to make the effort to do something special for yourself that makes you happy. And that might mean upsetting other people. That might mean saying no, setting boundaries, saying you're not going to do that, and taking a stand for things. And the card of advice for us for this week is retreat into nature. It really goes along with the card surrender to joy, because retreat into nature is about taking that time to nurture yourself, to find yourself, to renew your energy. And I know a lot of us are feeling really drained right about now because it's been such a weird energy, right? Because nothing's changed, and yet everything's changed. And that's because we've been undergoing such a powerful transformation, and so much has changed. It's like we haven't caught up with all the changes we've gone through. That's why this Mercury retrograde is so very important, so that we can integrate all the changes that we've been making since the eclipse in August, and we can integrate that and take stock of really where we're at. And when I say nothing's changed and everything's changed, it's because we can feel it in the air, in the energy, that the changes that we've made within us are very soon going to shift us into some very positive outward changes, and things that we've been trying to manifest in our life for quite a while are going to start showing up there. So yeah, it's been it's just been very powerful energy. So getting out into nature is one of the best ways to find your balance if you're undergoing any kind of stress or anger. It can help ground you. So if you've been feeling off, if you've been spending too much time in your head, it can help get you out of your head and ground your energy. It can help de-stress you, and it helps nurture you because you're finding time for yourself and you're finding time to slow down, which is very important. So the card is called Retreat into Nature, but it doesn't have to be necessarily nature. For a lot of us, we live in the northern hemisphere and it's winter, we live in cold regions, so it may not always be a great time to go outside, but we can definitely take time to nurture ourselves. Even if it's just, instead of doing the dishes, we're going to sit down and read a book. So definitely a theme this month of resting and caring for yourself. So really great energy, great reading, guys. Congratulations on all the changes that you've made and all the growth that you've done. I love you guys, and I will talk to you next week.